Hello and welcome back to the 25Ks in GeoGuessr. Today we're going to be having a look and trying to get 25K in South Africa. It's probably not the easiest, well, it's definitely not the easiest country to get 25K in, but it's also not too difficult. It's somewhere in the middle, I'd say, in terms of difficulty. We're going to be playing Mapper's Map, which does have locations that do have something around for pinpointing. So in theory, we should not have a problem to get 25K. It might still take a while, surely, especially if we're on a junction that's in the middle of nowhere and might not have a sign around, which is obviously still pinpointable, but, might still take you a while to get to where you need to be to get enough information. But I do still think today we can definitely get 25K. Whether I actually manage to do it is a different matter entirely, and we'll see about that once we're done with it. For now, let's just get into the challenge, and as always, I'll tell you more about what you can do in South Africa to get better during the course of us actually going through it. For now, let's start. All right. Let's see. Okay, so we are at a junction without a sign around. That is roughly what I was expecting. There is a sign here that is not really readable, and it does not look like this road is on Google Street View. So I'll just have to go towards the south here, sort of southwest. Generally, most junctions you do get to along main roads do have good signs, question mark. They mostly have signs, whether they're good or not, depends heavily on the junction. Department of Roads and Transport. I don't think there's anything useful on that. Actually, it did say the province, didn't it? Gauteng Provincial Government. Now the thing is, I have no idea where that is, but welcome to Gauteng. That is interesting. Does that also say something interesting? No, keep Gauteng clean, do not litter. Now I can have a quick look at the map, but I don't think I've ever heard of Gauteng. My question is, if it is a province, are those what you'd call provinces? Northern Cape, Eastern Cape? Or are they states? Or are they, I don't know what they might be. They could be provinces, in which case I'm going to have a bit of a look. The thing is, just based on landscape, this is a tough call, to be honest. It looks northern, like northern South Africa. It could really be over there, for example. Let me see here. Nope, not quite. It could be down here. It's Eastern Cape. Where else could it be? Probably not in this area, but it could well be somewhere in here. I just can't see Gauteng anywhere. Generally, what you look for in South Africa, and that's why I'll just continue. Maybe you can have another look at it later on when we found better information. What you generally want to look out for is road numbers. Or alternatively, if you're familiar with cities in South Africa, city names, which will usually be located next to a road number on a junction. The difficult thing for that is, after I've looked at that sign, okay, so we've got Afrikaans here. So we're more likely to be in an area in South Africa that uses Afrikaans, which is not everywhere. Like predominantly. This is a useful sign though. Bronkhorstspruit, so cool. It's generally like the upper area here in the northern area, something over there too. Generally from my experience down here, uses Afrikaans less prevalently. Like you can still find it around probably, but on the R25. And I just want to quickly go to the junction itself to check the other direction as well. Groblersdal. Groblersdal is interesting. That is definitely a city that I've heard before. On the R25. Problem is, I don't think I've mentioned that before. I started the sentence with problem isn't and and went on to say something else. Road numbers in South Africa are not well ordered, like at all. So you kind of just have to check the whole country if you really want to find a number. They can be in similar areas. Like you can find similar numbers in similar areas, but they don't have to be, which is the main issue. And you also have to zoom quite far in to have them show up. But you can sort of see like they sort of go in order through stretches. But yeah, as I've said, you'd never really got any guarantee. Just based on that though, the 25, I'd say it's more likely to be over here somewhere. Of course, it's not looking at these numbers, but the 31. Let me actually quickly check. Can I see Groblastar somewhere? Because, you know, I do remember it. So it might be big enough. But it doesn't look like it. Wait, what was that? Okay, similar but not quite. What about up here? 36. 18, 33. No 25s anywhere. There's the 23, which is close. Let me zoom out here a bit. Just that general area. Because it could be somewhere on the outskirts, even though it definitely doesn't look like we're in an urban area. It could be somewhere here. But this is always the worst, trying to find a road number. There's the 26. So I don't think it's wrong to assume that we're in an area around here. But yeah, the 26 continues down here. And then it just changes numbers completely. What I think might be the case is that the roads are technically numbered in an order, but they're just so long that it can be quite hard to tell what the order is. And that's also why roads don't necessarily have to be close to each other. I still think from the 26 though, 23, we've had that. I do think we have to be somewhere around here. It's just so frustrating. There it is. There's Grobastar. Yeah, it does sort of stand out. Yeah, so I was right in that. Is it actually? No, that's Limpopo. Where is... Do we have a city or something called Gauning? What was in the other direction? Either way. Bronkhorstspruit. And Grobastar is to the northeast. There's Bronkhorstspruit. And Sokulumi. I give no guarantee that any of those pronunciations are even close to being correct. Where is that? Doesn't really look like it's... There is Gauteng. So it is a province, yeah. That looks good. Now in south. So it could be somewhere over here, perhaps. What we probably started at is here, I would assume. Where are we going here? Well, we can probably check that without too many issues, now that we know roughly where we started. We can go a bit north. Oh, that sign might have been useful. Yep, certainly would have been. Something. Suster. Strom, maybe, but that's up here. The sign for it, at least. So let's continue a bit over there, and there's a slight curve. That does have a slight curve, a very slight curve. Do we have an alternative? I don't think so. Let me see. How far away are we from the next intersection? Does look like we're quite far away. There's another small road that goes down, which could very likely be this one, in which case we should hit another one that goes north in a bit. And when I say in a bit, I mean in a kilometer or two, not too close. There's another curve here, which might be this one actually, which would tell me that the road would actually be here. And there it is, yeah, okay. So I think it has to be this one, yeah. As long as it is a long road, and it does look like a long road. I'll do one more quick check, because I might as well in the other way. Would there be anything close by? Eventually there'll be one road that goes to the north after some houses on the northern side. Those are some houses on the northern side. And here is a road that goes north. Looks about right. So let's make a guess here. Yep, nicely done. Next round. And we've got another relatively easy pinpoint here. Getting to that pinpoint, more difficult. It sort of reminds me of an airport in Maseru, obviously in Lesotho, not in South Africa, so not applicable here. But that's the more interesting thing. Very important tip for South Africa. If you see a road number that starts with an N, those are the blue roads on the map. It's just a national road. I don't know why they are different in actuality and on the map, but that's just how it works. So we're on the 2, we're over here. There's Albertinia, so we're probably near Mossel Bay. And let me see. This goes west, east. Could be here somewhere. We're 40 kilometers away from Albertinia. And we're 78 away from Riversdale. Now, is Riversdale this or is Riversdale here? Probably here. So I think the distance fits roughly, but we might be closer here. This might actually be it. Now that I'm looking at it. Which makes me want to go continue east. Just to check, what is this? Petro SA. Okay, no, this is where we are right now. This is the one. Okay, this also needs to have one to the south. Yep. Just to double check, that goes up here. It is a, relatively wide road here. If we continue to the west, it should go down to 2 lanes, which it does. Is there anything else that is necessary to check? I don't think so. No, that should be it. So we have our guess down, and we can guess right here. Very well. Next one, Middelburg, Hendrina, and Ermelo. And the better sign, though, is up here. Because it shows us Ermelo is 68. I think Ermelo is here, yeah. And the N11, again, note this one. Hendrina in 18, somewhere like here. And we'll go back to the start. And we'll see Rietquil to the east. Now the question is, where exactly is that? It is here. Which could mean we're here. Could very well mean that. Let me go a bit further north. And it has another turn off here, which tells me Hendrina optimum something. Yep. And then if we go a bit further, we should have another road that crosses all of this. Is that? No, that's just the bridge. That's not the road yet. Or do we not have that road on the map? We might not. But then eventually curves off that way. Yep. Which now leaves me with the question. Because we have this here. Actually, no, what am I saying? this just goes off to the east. I was going to say I'm not quite convinced if it's this or this, but it's obviously a different direction. Of course. All right, so make a guess here. Next one. Okay, we don't have a sign straight away, but we are at a junction. So we just go a bit to the north. The landscape here is interesting. There's always, like, this kind of landscape always makes me think of this general area in South Africa. Not necessarily true. That's just, when I practiced South Africa back when I had to for a no moving competition, that's just the sort of thing that I noticed based on repetition. Doesn't have to be 100% true, but I'm working under that assumption until I'm proven wrong. All right, does not look like we're getting anywhere brilliant going to the north here. The thing is, in South Africa, oh, there are the good signs. It can take quite a while until you get to another junction that will have good signs again. Warden and Bethlehem. I know Bethlehem. There it is. Yeah, that's what I was saying. This general area. My theory was proven yet again. The difficult part here is that we don't have a number. But Bethlehem is in that general direction, which means Warden is up here. Makes it a bit easier. And the S1256 is something that's usually not written on the side roads, but it doesn't hurt to check. But yeah, it doesn't look like it. Which now means, let me have a look at the road. We're sort of continuing northeast here. Let me go back to the start. It's just the same direction. This is another road that goes off towards the south east. So let me try the other way. There's another road that goes north here. And it says Geluk, Kobes, and Rentia Kautri? Kotsi? Can I go closer? It doesn't help. I can, but it doesn't help. There's a farm. Could be something like that. Okay. I think it's clear. It's not 100% clear. We could technically be on this stretch of road. I just doubt it. I think we're on this stretch of road. Not sure where exactly. So we'll continue going west from here. Southwest. And we'll see how long it takes. And how many other side roads we meet along the way that are significant. We've got this one here. I don't know how significant that one is. I suspect that it does show up on the map. But, just continues that way. We've got another one, the S1059 on the R714. So we've got the right road for sure. It still goes sort of that way. Etembeni Mexa. Whatever that is. Let me see. Could be that potentially. Where does that lead? Etembeni Mahon Evangelical Church. Supporting my theory, we had that small road. We had that road going off to the north to a farm. And we had this road where I suspect we started. So that means if I continue going southwest, we should get across this road, and then we should go to a major intersection. And we'll quickly double check with that. I'm pretty confident, but you know, we've got all day in theory, even though we won't need it. So it can't hurt to double check. There's the main intersection. Yeah, and I just didn't see that road because the road I saw definitely went north. Okay. So just to check again, this goes that way. There's a small side road that goes off to the north here towards that house, presumably, which would make sense. There's a big lake, in theory, again, to our north here. That's not something that necessarily shows up, but this looks like it could be a big lake. So again, I'm very confident about this. Just gonna slightly change my position up to down here. And let's go. Nice. Should have changed it a bit more, but good enough. And to finish us off, St. Francis Bay and Humansdorp. St. Francis Bay is here. As a bay, it's usually on the coast, and Humansdorp is here. We're on the R330, and Paradisstrand off to the east. The Paradise Beach, highly likely that is that one. Question is it exactly that one? We go to the east here. It's presumably not covered. No, it's not. What can we do to check? We can go a bit north. Have a look. Do we have a road that goes off to the west? We have a road that goes off to the west right next to a small little lake that's not on the map here. That would presumably be there. And then we make a curve over to the east. And then we curve back. Yeah. Has to be it, pretty much. Actual location is slightly up here. Put it here and make a guess. There we go. And that's how easy South Africa can be if you're on a pinpointable map. The thing is, in South Africa, you can if you make a pinpointable map, it's going to be pretty easy because the signing, or like the signs in South Africa, are generally very good. So the only major difficulty you'll come across in South Africa is when you just can't find signs. And at that point, you're not really at a pinpointable location. There are certain areas in South Africa that make it a bit more difficult. Like, we didn't get to see any downtown areas. Like, especially the Pretoria, Johannesburg areas have a lot of suburbs that can be quite difficult to find. The thing is, a good thing in South Africa is knowing phone numbers and area codes a bit. I think, oh God, I don't want to say something wrong. Like, the general areas are very easy to learn. I think Pretoria and Johannesburg are 11 and 12. Cape Town is 21. I don't want to tell you something wrong. Look them up if you want to. They're relatively easy to learn just for the main areas. You basically want to learn Pretoria and Johannesburg. You might want to learn Cape Town. Might want to learn the city formerly known as Port Elizabeth. Might want to learn Durban. Bloemfontein maybe. But yeah, apart from that, you're usually good. And the other difficult areas can be areas that are just very remote. Like something like this usually doesn't have too many signs. And even if they do, you might have to travel quite a distance to get to them. And it's just, it doesn't look like the prettiest area. And up here can also be quite difficult because it's got so many small cities or small towns that you'll usually find quite a lot of different city names and towns. Like down here, pretty much you're going to travel 10, 15 kilometers to get to the next city that's on a sign. So usually the cities on signs don't change much. Up here, it can be every kilometer there's a different city. So yeah, that can make it difficult. And it's also like, you can see there's so many little villages. Like, just look at that. What the hell is this? And yeah, road numbers don't help usually to tell you which area you're in. But yeah, apart from that, most of South Africa is relatively easy. And I hope I managed to show you that in this video right here. And yeah, I think next episode is we're gonna go back to Europe. Gonna do North Macedonia. Hope you look forward to that. I'm not sure if I do yet. It's gonna be interesting for sure though. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Thanks for doing so, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.